treasure we found in the deep roads made us a fortune. The champion moved up in the world, literally. Bought a mansion in Hightown. Everyone knew who she was now. Even the Viscount was taking notice. Bethany was in the circle now. There was nothing we could do for her. Poor girl. 3 years later, the Qunari still haven't left. The Qunari insisted they were waiting for their ship. But some of us knew better.
The compound was not meant to be permanent. There are concerns the Qunari influence is no longer contained.
Was it ever? Kirkwall has tension enough between Templar and Mage. But these Qunari, they sit like gargoyles waiting for Maker knows what, and everyone goes mad around them. Nearly 4 years I've stood between fanatics. And now, this.
Don't keep us in suspense.
Leave us. Meredith at my throat, Orsino at my heels, and a city scared of heretical giants. Balance has held because the Qunari ask for nothing. Even the space in Lowtown was a gift to contain them. But now, the Arishok has requested you. By name. What did you do?
I can't help it if I make an impression.
Apparently not. I remember how you helped my son. It seems you are meant to have influence above your station. Speak to the Arishok. Give him what he needs to keep the peace. Can you do that for Kirkwall, Sarah Hawk?
Sounds like you'd be better off without this headache.
They will not leave, and we don't have the resources to force the issue. At least, not in a way that would leave the city intact. If they had come to conquer, I suspect they would have done so.
I've seen hate for them, but I haven't heard anything major in years.
Zealots are bravest where their lies can't be argued, behind closed doors. Chantry leaders see Qunari beliefs as a challenge, not an attack. But the message gets muddled among casual adherents. I'm certainly not equipped to argue the fine points of faith.
Have the years been kind to Seamus?
He is his own man. But your actions tempered him somewhat. He's not so angry at the world. I thank you for that. I may not agree with him on many things, but I am proud of what he is becoming.
The Qunari usually arrive as conquerors. Odd that this has gone on so long.
Very, and I have no interest in antagonizing them. That is partially why I suffer being a messenger today. A treaty exists, and it has been honored. Although...
You have doubts?
They claim they're waiting for a second ship. But it has been 3 years. They want something else.
Any idea what I can expect?
None. Honestly, I don't think I've heard 2 direct words from the Arishok. Other than his rather deliberate phrasing of... begone. If you think his asking me to notify you of this is strange, well, you would be right.
I'm always willing to assist.
Well, that is an attitude this city has lacked for a long time. Appease the Arishok. Take his demand and let him return to dormancy. As awkward as this has been, it is better than the alternative.
Seamus, wasn't it? The Viscount's boy?
You're here rather often, Sirrah Hawk. A good influence, I think. Even by not taking sides, you helped start something. I still accept no blame for defending Kunari. And I don't miss the kinship of the people who oppose what I believe.
You're determined to be a thorn in someone's side. Good for you.
I'm the son of the Viscount. My actions are dissected no matter what I believe. I may as well try to do some good. If I offend, well, some people try very hard to be offended. There are other ways to see the world. The Kunari have shown me that.
Oh, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you, Messiah. If only you humans didn't all look the same.
We can't all be short and bearded like your people, Bowden.
Indeed. It's quite a shame, really. I came to deliver this to you. The last of the proceeds from all that treasure you found in the deep roads. It seems your friend Varric found a buyer after all, yes? Quite well done.
So you raced here just to give me this?
Oh, I didn't want to be responsible for so much coin. Just holding that purse was making me sweat. Before I go, may I simply say how grateful I am that you've allowed my boy to stay in your home. I said I would repay you for saving Sandel's life, and I shall serve you faithfully. It is good to know he is safe.
Let me guess. This was Mother's idea?
As you say, yes. I'll leave you to your adventures. Your mother asks that you return to the mansion when you have a chance.
You've settled in nicely.
It's just luck. And skill.
Indeed. Still, more coin never hurts, right? Say, if someone wanted to pass some work your way...
So how can I be of service this time?
Someone's trying to be a guard. Poorly. Remember Emmerich, the Templar? He wants your help, and some sort of official sanction.
Official sanction?
For his investigation. He's convinced that every random murder in the past few years is connected, and he won't be quiet.
You don't think it's worth investigating?
I have. He even convinced one of my lieutenants to raid the Dupuis mansion. Nothing there. You wouldn't believe how much ass I had to kiss after that. Bloody hobbyist constable. Why can't he spend his declining years building a boat or something?
Seems like it should be easy to prove if there are bodies.
Kirkwall isn't the safest place. That doesn't mean everything terrible is related. There's no sense to that. Can't be.
I seem to recall he had some good leads.
Then you won't mind chasing his threads. If it leads somewhere, I'll pick it up. Right now, he's just distracting my men. He's in the gallows. Do what you can. Thanks, Hawk. I'll try not to make a habit of this.
It's strange living here again. My childhood home. Now owned by my child. It's not something I could have imagined when I was a little girl staring out this window. I'm still grateful you used your money from the expedition to buy back the estate. I feel like an Amel again.
Just don't go all pompous on me, all right?
I promise. If there's one thing I learned in Ferelden, it's that good people can be born in a hut as easily as a palace. Honestly, after so many years as a peasant's wife, it feels strange to have nothing to do. I visited Bethany at the Circle. She seems happy enough. I guess I just need to start picking you out a suitable husband.
I like the doggy. Ruff, ruff, ruff! Ruff, 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 ruff!
Hey, looks like they're having a nice chat. Maybe Sandal picked up some Mabari speak from our time at the Hero of Ferelden's camp.
Have you heard from your sister? Is she settling in all right with the Circle?
I thought you and Bethany didn't get along. Why are you worrying over her?
I'd be terrified in her shoes. Surrounded by strangers. Watched all the time. We didn't always agree, but she's a sweet girl. I would never wish that fate on anyone.
She always did love being constantly watched by large, armed men.
She did? I would never have imagined. Oh. She's strong. If anyone can get through this, she can. Don't blame yourself.
Someone's got to blame me. Other than my mother, I mean.
I'm sure your mother doesn't blame you. Things will be all right. Somehow.
Did you ever run the wilds, boy? Kirkwall is no city for a breed used to open spaces. Nice as your estate is, it's not healthy for a Mabari to be cooped up. May I take him to the barracks time to time? He could help train my guards.
Good idea. He'll put the fear of dog into them.
Good. I think it's time they face down a good old Mabari charge. How about it, boy? Want to chew on some recruits?
This isn't a toy. Somewhere out there, a table is mourning the loss of its leg.
I thought it would end here. That young lady, Hawk, she decimated Flint Company. No survivors. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
My... Hawk? We were just talking about you.
Carry on. I love to eavesdrop.
Hawk said sarcastically.
You know, I hate it when you do that.
Hawk muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
I think I've met Lord Harriman.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
This is why the cycle of violence never gets broken.
You jest, but that's the truth. Give this up, Sebastian. Dedicate yourself to the Chantry as you swore.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
Why is everyone looking at me?
I don't know why Choir Boy here didn't yell Hawk to the rescue. That's clearly what he was going for.
If this allows Sebastian to make peace, it is worth doing. You've taken on lesser causes.
Please. I have no one else to turn to. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, Monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness.
Oh, lower. Lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawk. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
No, the feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
Odd. When we watched you being a drunken ass, you ignored us completely.
You shall not enter.
Starkhaven will not submit. I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
At the Blooming Rose, 50 silver's standard for a whore.
You'll hardly find my services standard.
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian!
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
Not if it meant selling out my family.
How loyal were your friends to you? Everyone has a price. Everyone wants something.
Do not listen to her.
Oh, such a pious soul, masking so much ambition. Are you so different from my lady? You yearn for the same lands, the same power.
I am the rightful heir. She is a usurper and murderer.
You swore to put aside worldly goods and ambitions, but they couldn't stop you from wanting them.
I will hear no more from you.
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it.
Right. It is demons who should be feared, not mages.
Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
Don't blame your mother. The Desire Demon made this happen.
I doubt many people will be so forgiving. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you when I need you. I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the Chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You seem very dedicated to the Chantry. You were put there against your will?
At first. But it was the best thing that could have happened. I was a wild boy, a shame to my family. The Chantry made me a man. It's odd. When I wanted to rule, I would have been terrible at it. Now that I might be decent, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
It's the wisdom not to want power that lets you use it wisely.
You didn't feel what that demon stirred in me. It cannot be right to lead any army to Starkhaven with such doubt in my heart. I owe you more than I can say, Hawk. I will offer my service to you here before I move on.
If you want to help me, do it because we're friends. There's no debt between us.
You have a good soul, Hawk. It was truly the Maker who led you to me. Your hound is a mark of nobility in Ferelden, is he not? I have heard that gaining a Mabari's loyalty is considered the ultimate proof of character there.
That's him. My own living, breathing, slobbering status symbol.
A dog cares nothing for worldly power. The Maker would like to see us learn from them.
Don't let it go to your head.
So the Seneschal's tax collector won't be coming around again like you asked. Funny story.
I'll pass, but thank you for the help.
Spoil sport.
Why you want to squat up here in Hightown is beyond me.
I like the view.
So do I.
Three years. There's still no sign of Denarius. I'm beginning to wonder if he's finally given up.
This is his mansion, isn't it? He must know you're here.
Would you be surprised to learn that it isn't, in fact, his mansion? It belongs to a Tevinter merchant, one who has evidently given up on the place. Perhaps he is dead. Perhaps Denarius killed him. Either way, if Denarius is aware of my presence, he has done nothing.
Don't tell me you're going to miss all the attention.
Tell me, what do you do when you stop running?
You take a breath and look around. And start anew.
I don't know how. My first memory is receiving these markings. The lyrium being branded into my flesh. The agony wiped away everything. Whatever life I had before I became a slave, it's lost. I shouldn't trouble you with this. My problems are not yours.
You don't know who you were?
Fenris was the name Denarius bestowed upon me, his little wolf. If I once had another name or a family, then they were taken from me. But again, this is not your concern.
I might be able to help with your problems. Or give you a few more.
Only a few.
It depends if I really work at it.
Tempting. You're a beautiful woman, Hawk. Is there no one else who has your attention?
Do you see anyone else here?
I'm an escaped slave and an elf, living in a borrowed mansion. None of those things bother you?
And I'm a refugee as well as a human. Does that bother you?
You have me there. You raise an interesting point. I'll have to consider it.
I have something for you.
It's a book.
I see your eyesight is still working fine. The book is by Shartan, the elf who helped Andraste free the slaves. You know about him, right?
A little. It's just... slaves are not permitted to read. I've never learned.
It's not too late to learn, Fenris.
Isn't it? Sometimes I wonder. I don't mean to seem ungrateful. I do appreciate the thought. I've always wanted to learn more of Shartan. Perhaps this is my chance.
It's like you haven't moved in 3 years. It's easier for people to find me this way. Do you remember the relic I told you about? The one I need to find? I've been following a lead. I'm so close I can taste it.
Isn't that what you said last time?
Oh, you mean when I went digging for that stash?
Yes. That turned out to contain several badly written poems and an old boot.
It could have contained the relic. I just thought I'd let you know that I may soon be taking you up on that offer of help.
You can count on me.
Thanks. I appreciate it. If I learn anything new, you'll be the first to hear about it.
I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company men did some looting. I figured I'd return the favor.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead. But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the Chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the Chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them. To save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawk. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets.
Where is he?
Please, don't kill me.
Tell me!
I don't know. I don't know, I swear. Adriana brought us. She's at the holding caves north of the city. I can show you the way.
No need. I know which ones you speak of.
Then let me go. I beg you. I swear
You chose the wrong master. Adriana. I was a fool to think I was free. They'll never let me be.
This is someone you know.
My old master's apprentice. I remember her well. A sniveling social climber that would sell her own children if she thought it would please Daenerys. If she's here, it's at his bidding. He knew he wouldn't let this go.
Then why are we standing around?
The holding caves held slaves in the old times, but apparently they are no longer abandoned. We must go quickly, before Hadriana has a chance to prepare, or flee. We must be careful. There were many such holdings once, especially in the mountains, where individual slavers kept private pens. They were designed to protect against raids by fellow slavers. No doubt it's why Hadriana chose this place.
Do slavers attack each other often?
They did. What better way to find slaves than to steal them? The holdings outside of Tevinter have mostly been abandoned, but they still exist.
Maybe she wanted to redecorate. Add a few flowers.
She's not a flowers kind of woman. Let's hope this isn't a waste of time. Are you hurt? Did they touch you?
They've been killing everyone. They cut Papa, bled him.
Why? Why would they do this?
It's a demon at work. By this point, there's nothing human left inside.
The Magister. She said she needed power, that someone was coming to kill her. We tried to be good. We did everything we were told. She loved Papa's soup. I don't understand.
Is the Magister still here?
I think so. The Magister said they were to prepare for battle. I think she's very frightened.
She has every reason to be.
Please don't hurt her. She'll be so angry if you hurt her.
This has been terrible for you.
Everything was fine until today.
It wasn't. You just didn't know any better.
Are you my master now?
No.
But I can cook. I can clean. What else will I do?
If you go to Kirkwall, I can help you.
Yes? Oh, praise the Maker. Thank you.
I didn't realize you were in the market for a slave.
I gave her a job, Fenris.
Ah, then that's good. My apologies. Let's find Hadriana and be done with this place.
Stop! You do not want me dead!
There is only one person I want dead more.
I have information, Elf, and I will trade it in return for my life.
Ha! The location of Denarius. What good will that do me? I'd rather he lose his pet pupil.
You have a sister. She is alive. You wish to reclaim your life? Let me go, and I will tell you where she is.
How do we know you're even telling the truth?
You don't. But I knew Fenris, and I know what he's searching for. If he wants me to betray Denarius, he'll have to pay for it.
This is your call.
So I have your word. I tell you, and you let me go.
Yes. You have my word.
Her name is Verania. She is in Carinus, serving a magister by the name of Ehrman.
A servant, not a slave.
She's not a slave.
I believe you. We are done here.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, I don't want to talk about it. This could be a trap. Denarius could have sent Hadriana here to tell me about this sister. Even if he didn't, trying to find her would still be suicide. Denarius has to know about her and has to know that Hadriana knows. But all that matters is I finally got to crush this bitch's heart. May she rot, and all the other mages with her.
And here I thought you were unreasonable.
Maybe we should leave.
Don't comfort me. You saw what was done here. There's always going to be some reason, some excuse why mages need to do this. Even if I found my sister, who knows what the Magisters have done to her? What has magic touched that it doesn't spoil? I need to go. I've been thinking about what happened with Hadriana. I took out my anger on you, undeservedly so. I was not myself. I'm sorry.
I had no idea where you went. I was concerned.
I needed to be alone. When I was still a slave, Adriana was a torment. She would ridicule me, deny my meals, pound my sleep. Because of her status, I was powerless to respond, and she knew it. The thought of her slipping out of my grasp now. I couldn't let her go. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
What do you mean?
This hate. I thought I'd gotten away from it. But it dogs me no matter where I go. To feel it again. To know it was they who planted it inside me. It was too much to bear. But I didn't come here to burden you further.
We're friends, Fenris.
I'm not certain I know what that is.
Greetings, mistress. Your home was difficult to find. I've never been out on my own before, but I found it. Many people know of you. I hope I've made myself useful. I've already begun cleaning, and I can cook. Not as good as Papa, but a little. Is there anything else you'd like me to do?
What sort of skills do you have?
Not many, I fear. The Magister bade me to clean, and sometimes fetch, but Papa told me to keep out of her sight as much as I could. But I can learn. I'll serve you well. Please don't hurt me.
You've been through a great deal. How are you feeling?
I miss Papa, the other servants. I try not to think about what happened. I even feel sorry for the Magister. Is that bad?
I'm sure Hadriana was very thankful for such loyalty.
I suppose she was. I'll serve you just as well, mistress. You'll see.
If you're staying here, Orana, it will be as my servant.
You mean, I won't be a slave anymore?
You'll be paid, like anyone else.
A slave is all I've ever been, like Papa and Grandpapa before me. I'll try to be a good servant. Thank you, mistress. You're too good to me.
Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Firmundis. Care to hear the story?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
I enjoy listening to you talk.
There are few pleasures greater than speaking with a beautiful woman. Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Daenerys during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
I thought Daenerys considered you valuable.
He wasn't given a choice. The look on his face as the ship pulled out was priceless. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Daenerys finally came for me.
Were you with these Fog Warriors willingly?
I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Daenerys came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them, so I did. I killed them all.
Once a slave, always a slave.
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt I couldn't. I ran and never looked back.
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest. But by then, I was already gone.
Couldn't you have found other Fog Warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
I have to wonder why you stayed with Daenerys as long as you did.
You have not been a slave. A slave does not dream of freedom or wonder at possibilities. You think only of your master's desires and what the next hour will bring. It did not occur to me that I could be anything else until I had a taste of it.
But there are stories of slaves rebelling all the time. They did in Kirkwall.
The ritual that gave me my markings also stripped me of my memory. Whatever I was before may as well have never been. Perhaps if I knew, I might have felt differently.
How well did you know these Fog Warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
This can't be easy to talk about.
I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. Perhaps this is what it means to have a friend.
It might mean more than that.
I have never allowed anyone too close. When my markings were created, the pain was extraordinary, and the memory lingers. But you are unlike any woman I have ever met. With you, it might be different.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
If there was someone before, I have no memory of it.
There was no one after you escaped, even?
I stayed nowhere for long. Who would I trust? I didn't think I needed anyone, or wanted anyone, until now.
We could find out.
On another evening, perhaps. A last toast, then. To the Fallen. A fascinating breed. Such intelligence and strength. Do you ever wonder what he thinks about?
He still thinks about dog things, just with more clarity.
Are you aware that this breed originated in Tevinter? The Magisters bred them. It said the Mabari defected during the Imperium's invasion of Ferelden. Merely a tale, but I rather like the idea they found the barbarians more palatable than the mages. Exactly so. Let's hope your hound doesn't take after his ancestors too strongly, hmm?
I've been wondering if I shouldn't remarry. I've seen how you and that elf look at each other. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
Sounds like you've got someone in mind.
Nothing I'm ready to share yet, so don't pry. But it is refreshing to think I could still be courted at this age.
Isabella, my dusky goddess. You have buried yourself in the flesh of my heart like a worm in a red, red apple. You heartworm, you.
Oh, look, my friend is here. Excuse me.
But I haven't gotten to the part where I invite you to feast upon my tender white flesh.
That's all right. I think I'll manage. Speaking of romance, you and Fenris, eh? That taut, controlled body, the brooding demeanor and intense gaze. I hear he still wears the shackles from his life in bondage under his clothes. You know what they say about men like that, don't you?
I'm going to regret asking you to continue, aren't I?
He can't find a saw.
I had you there. You thought I was going to say something dirty.
Fenris?
I have been thinking of you. In fact, I've been able to think of little else. Command me to go, and I shall.
Did I say anything? Was it that bad?
I'm sorry, it's not... It was fine. No, that is insufficient. It was better than anything I could have dreamed.
Oh? I can come up with much crazier things in my dreams.
I began to remember my life before. Just flashes. It's too much. This is too fast. I cannot do this.
Your life before? What do you mean?
I've never remembered anything from before the ritual, but there were faces, words. For just a moment, I could recall all of it, and then it slipped away.
If it brings your memory back, maybe we need to do it more often.
Perhaps you don't realize how upsetting this is. I've never remembered anything, and to have it all come back in a rush, only to lose it. I can't. I can't.
We can work through this.
I'm sorry. I feel like such a fool. All I wanted was to be happy. Just for a little while. Forgive me.
Who's a funny boy? You are. Yes, you are.
We'll need to give them answers by tomorrow, Captain.
I'll have them. Dismissed.
The Seneschal was particularly vocal.
Dismissed. You'd think the Captain of the Guard could requisition a Templar or two, but no, that would be demeaning. Can't have them working for the people when eternity needs a nanny.
That's why I remain unimportant. Less pressure.
As if the return of the Amels hasn't set Hightown on its ear.
As long as it's off its ass.
Sure, have your fun. But the coin you poured into Kirkwall tipped what balance there was.
I didn't realize I was making it worse by getting ahead.
I'm just harassing you. Although you are a bit like the center of a hurricane. You've changed fortunes for many people, not always for the better.
Sounds like you're spreading yourself pretty thin.
There are a lot of people in my charge. Someone has to look out for them.
You guard the guardsmen?
I don't turn people loose like Jevon. There's additional training, doubled patrols. Costs are up, but I've halved injuries. I'll take it and argue with Seneschal Bran later.
After the last captain, you couldn't have expected this to be easy.
At least I had the guards on my side. Once they understood, they rallied. And those who didn't weren't fit to hold the crest. Stack friends against the enemies. I don't know if I came out ahead, but it's for the better.
Grouse all you want. But the Aveline I know doesn't regret a second as captain.
They'd have to drag me out of here. And I'm sure some are lining up to try. You among them, I bet. Haven't had much time to follow you around. Not that I need to. I can trust that you at least try to do right.
Just tell me if you hear more rumblings from the coterie about protection. Blondie's got enough trouble. Let me ask you something, Hawk. You made it into Hightown. I'd expect anyone else to get complacent, but you must have plans.
No plans yet. I'm simply trying to look out for my mother.
After everything that happened with Bethany, that's probably good thinking. To be honest, I thought there might be a chance you'd want to go back to Ferelden now that things have calmed down. It's good to hear you're sticking around.
What would I do without my trusty dwarf? I'd cry myself to sleep without you.
Oh, don't get all teary-eyed on me, Hawk. You know I can't stand to see a human cry. So, we've got a whole city-state full of trouble to get into. Shall we get started?
And that will, stop the itch.
Yes. Though I would stay away from women you meet in the port. Pirates tend to dock in unsavory places.
I heard that.
Just use the salve if it comes back.
Excuse me.
Things just keep getting worse. I had Templars practically on my doorstep the other night.
The Templars are hunting you.
Not me specifically. They were just checking the refugee camps. But it's not like this place is a secret. It's only a matter of time.
I can't say you've been keeping a low profile.
The Knight Commander is out of control. Even her own people have been talking about it. The curfews, the midnight raids on mages' families. Everyone I know forced into hiding so they won't be made tranquil.
Justice must not know where to turn first.
In the Fade, there is no time. Emotion rules everything. Justice doesn't know how to sit idle until the right moment to strike. And I can't say I have any greater patience. I fear what my anger has made of my friend.
You chose to merge with him. Only you can make it work.
I am trying. I have not attacked the Templars openly. I've helped the mages here as best I can, but this impasse cannot last. One day, everyone in Kirk will have to choose a side.
Why do you always win at cards?
Because I cheat, kitten. This trinket, it's elven, isn't it? From your clan. Don't bet anything you're not prepared to lose. Here, have it back. A jigger of your finest whiskey for my friend over here. The Hanged Man's finest isn't much, but it'll get you just as drunk as anything you'll find in Hightown.
And you'll wake up and find someone stolen your trousers.
That's when you know it's a party. I thought I'd have to watch myself around you, but as it turns out, you're all right.
What do you mean I'm all right?
You don't judge people. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, little things like that. If I had someone like you on board my ship when the storm hit, maybe we wouldn't have been shipwrecked.
Maybe you would have been shipwrecked sooner. I'm a terrible sailor.
Are you? I suppose I'll have to keel haul you till you shape up.
I've got something for you, Varric.
My father's signet ring. Where did you find it? Bartrand pawned it off to pay for the expedition.
I can't believe you found it. This sounds exactly like the sort of fake thing I'd make up about you.
When you tell people, mention that I got it from the belly of a dragon.
I'll throw in a couple of werewolves and a griffin for balance. Well, I guess I better start answering my mail from Orzammar. Balin's court just reminds me too much of family dinners with my cousins. Anyway, I owe you one, Hawk. Remind me later to put you on my tab.
Elves were using magic when your primitive ancestors still lived like beasts. If you dare interrogate one of my hunters again...
The Maker be my witness. I will bring Fainriel to the gallows.
Hawk, you may want to leave before this gets messy.
Are you actually planning to attack Templars?
This Shem caught one of our Dalen hunters. She tortured the boy with fire while she interrogated him about Fainriel.
That's nothing compared to what we'll do if you don't hand over the apostate.
This is your last chance to leave and avoid bloodshed, Hawk.
You'd torture and kill the Dalish for just one apostate?
I don't care a jot about these knife ears, but Fainriel slipped through our fingers. No one escapes the Knight Commander.
We would sooner die than turn him over to you.
If Fainriel is that dangerous, let him stay with the Dalish.
Why would I do that?
Either he snaps and the Dalish kill him, or he escapes and you capture him without risking your men. You win either way.
There is wisdom in that, I suppose. Very well. You Dalish have fun with Fainriel.
Violence would not have helped my people. Maseranis.
I've got something for you.
Ooh. Did you get this from Master Island? Mythal, did I miss some important occasion? I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you, I promise.
I think I missed the Elvish sign for "This present induces terrible guilt." I'll shop more carefully in the future.
Of course. You're just being thoughtful. No one has ever given me a present before. Useful things. Tools or clothes. Because I needed them, not just because. Maseranis, I'll find a good place for this.
I brought you something. It's shiny and subversive. I thought you'd like it.
You got me a gift? I hardly think I've done anything to deserve that. Is it a... That's a Tevinter Chantry amulet. Do you want me to get executed? It's sacrilege to wear those in any land under the Divine.
Here I thought you fight for mage's rights. Whoever's bad side that puts you on.
I like it. Maybe not on the outside of my clothes. I'm not that eager to face the hangman's noose. But I appreciate the thought. I've never really thought about what life would be like in the Tevinter Chantry. In the Circle, they make it sound like the Void itself. The Black Divine stalking Thedas, making it unsafe for kittens and virgins.
I haven't noticed too many of either in Kirkwall.
And fewer every day, I suspect. I appreciate the gift. Perhaps one day I can return one as meaningful.
You are Hawk. A patrol went missing along the Wounded Coast. You have fought Kunari before and triumphed. Arvarad, no less. So tell me, did you kill them?
If I did kill them, why would I tell you? You'd just attack me.
I seek an answer to a question. What has happened to the missing Karatam? Vengeance is not relevant to this task.
I can't be your only suspect. There's Coterie, Carter, Templars. Take your pick.
You think the boss in this city could fell a Karatam? Hardly. You are another matter. If you are not responsible, I waste my time here. Sarah Hawk.
Yes?
Last we met, I did not know your name. Did not care to. You have changed your fortune over the years. The Kunari have not. I offer a courtesy, Hawk. Someone has stolen what he thinks is the formula for Gatlock. You will want to hunt him.
Excuse me, but this sounds like quite the feat.
It was allowed. The stolen formula was a decoy. Sarcastic, a poison gas, not explosives. A small amount is dangerous enough to your kind, but if made in quantity, perhaps by someone intending to sell it.
That merchant, Javaris.
Would he be cautious? Or would he assume success and make enough to threaten a district? A courtesy, Hawk. You will want to hunt him.
It took Javaris long enough to come up with this. Are you sure it was him?
Others have asked for the Gatlock, but only he chose to delude himself beyond no. Is 3 years so long to a hateful fool? I have no way of understanding such weakness. His crime seems obvious. Further evidence could be the deaths of many. I wouldn't wait.
So, how dangerous does this fake mixture become?
It is not a threat to Kunari. For your kind, it is as dangerous as those who breathe it.
No riddles, please.
The gas kills, but first it turns allies against their own in blind rage. So, the greater the skill of those sent against us, the more dangerous they become to their own people.
And you thought this was a good idea?
It is no longer our problem.
You made your hate for this city clear 3 years ago. Why give me this warning?
I don't call anyone in Kirkwall an ally or even a good rival. But you have shown competence. The day comes when the Qun will demand an accounting. Until then, I will show respect to the most promising among you.
So you just leave the decoy laying around?
We did not make it easy. 3 Kunari died defending it. Enough to impart a sense of worth. If the real formula were at risk, The Qun would demand that we protect it to the last of us.
Any idea where we can find Javaris?
I heard about a sell-off. Merchant territories and such. They don't do that unless someone left in a hurry. I'd have figured he'd rook some noble. He's sure not a burglar.
Just tell me where he is.
I haven't kept up on the squirt, as the coterie.
Panahedon, Hawk. I do not hope you die.
You're selling the assets of Javaris Tintop?
We are. Limited districts, limited contracts. Keeps territory clear and separate from the start. He had a meager lot, but he skipped with dues outstanding, so up it goes.
Sounds like he's made a few friends. Can one of them point me his way?
Ask that about anyone else, I'd have you thrown out. This one, he owes me too. Javaris left in a hurry. I'd put him at Smuggler's Cut if he's avoiding patrols. It empties at a cave outside town. Tell him I said, don't come back.
That any way to greet an old friend?
You? Granny's garters, she would hire you. I can't buy a break on discount. You know what? Go ahead. Take my head and pike it back to that sodding elf. I need the rest.
What in blazes are you talking about?
But you don't know? Then what? You're tracking for the Qunari? Then she did it. That elf got them after me for nothing. Bitch born.
I knew he was no burglar. We're not climbers.
Look, I'm minding business, same old. Then out of the blue, some elf tries to kill me. Says she's got the Qunari powder and I'm her cover. I slipped her, hired some bodyguards, and ran for it. And now you're here. Great.
So far, all I see is you.
Leaving the other person behind is the first step in running away. Sorry if that's inconvenient. Here. Want to drag Dark into light? I had a man follow her. The elf's in Lowtown. I just want to get out with my dead guards. Thanks for that.
Sounds like you have a long way to go. Hopefully.
Right. Got me a rosy future to plan out. Think I'll start by selling some boots. Sodding bunch of... Take a long breath on a short shaft, you blasted dog-lord inroaders.
All of you, I can't fight the damned air. You want to live, stay out.
What's going on, Mason?
Guard Captain, there's... I can't even describe.
On your time, son.
Reports of some haze with a stench of rust and throw-up. There was a cloud, then a lingering mist. Anyone caught in the cloud just went mad. Then the others just wretched themselves dead.
All right, keep your post. We'll take it from here. He's a good man. Trust that it's as bad as he says.
Let's hope this elf didn't try to make enough powder to sell.
Didn't sound like a merchant to me. Let's go.
So, your fault, I presume.
Is that... Sirrah Hawk? You have enemies. I'm glad it's you, really. These poor people. You are a much better target.
So, care to explain your particular brand of crazy?
Qunari take my people. My siblings forget their culture, then go to the Qun for purpose. We're losing them twice. So I get some help from your people. We'll take the Qunari thunder, make some accidents, and make them hate it. But this is all wrong.
You were going to kill people anyway. That's not funny at all, really.
It can still work. They're hidden in your city. They'll enrage the faithful and make sure the Qunari are blamed. Me, I'm finished. I just need a few more bodies. A few more.
So, I was wrong about our thief.
You'll get used to it.
They say we were careless with our trap, that this is our fault. But even without the Sarcomech, there would have been death. This elf was determined to lay blame at our feet.
But your feet didn't do anything wrong. Good day?
I admire conviction with a focus, but your kind are truly committed to weakness.
That weak elf made a good effort at using your own weapon against you.
We have but one weapon, the certainty of the Qun. It cannot be used against us.
Well, of course not. Certainty's not pointy enough to make a good weapon.
And it doesn't matter. I am not here to fight. I am here to satisfy a demand you cannot understand.
It's taking long enough.
It will take as long as needed. No ship is coming. There is no rescue from duty to the Qun. I am stuck here.
You could have built a ship by now, you know.
It is not about a ship. Filth stole from us. Not now, not the Sarcastic. Years ago. A simple act of greed has bound me. We are all denied Parvolin until I alone recover what was lost under my command. That is why this elf and her shadows are unimportant. That is why I do not simply walk from this pustule of a city. Fixing your mess is not the demand of the Qun, and you should all be grateful! Thank you, human, for your service. Leave.